Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to make some LED people, and you may have seen on Instagram, posted some of these. My wife showed off to a bunch of people in various meetings she was in, and essentially everybody seems to like them. So here we go. I just made them because I was utterly bored, and being sick, I'm only getting like a productive hour every day. And by the way, today's episode brought to you by Robitussin, because that's the only thing really keeping me going right now. There we go. Cheers. Oh, what flavor is that? That's raspberry. They all taste terrible. But through the coronavirus, it's about the only thing keeping me going. So, got some battery holders, some resistors. I'm using a capacitor for a body, LED head, some resistor arms. You've got all kinds of different options as far as playing with these. So let's take the pre-built ones out of the way and get started on the first one we're going to do. And we're actually going to do some little diode arms just to kind of change it up. I've got these little battery holders, and I've got a battery. So on your LED, they've got a short lead and a long lead. Long lead is positive. If you're ever not sure, your battery has a plus on there, and you can just slide that over and it will light up. And that's basically the effect we're going to use today for this as well. And I had this great idea, but now there it is. Okay, so not everyone has something to help hold soldering together, so I'm going to try doing it like this today. We're going to see how that goes. So let's get started with the legs. This one is going to be really skinny. I'm not actually doing a body, so I'm going to cut these pretty long, and I'm actually just going to mount the LED just up here like this. And that is how I made this one. So that's about the height I'm going for. I like that height. It kind of matches with the rest. It'll, still be fairly tall. So I'm going to get the soldering iron heating up over there. I have managed to trap the solder under my phone. There we go. And the solder in. So my thought process, and I have not actually tried this yet, this is not how I've been making them, is I'm just going to shove these in this little launch pad here. And that should hold them, yeah, like so. Make it easy to solder. Yeah, helps if I turn the soldering iron on to bring it up to temperature. Yeah, well, you can't see it over there, so you probably weren't laughing at me yet. But now you know you can laugh at me. So when I get started, I like to flow some solder onto the tip and then clean it off. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to tin these. So we're just going to get some blobs of solder on the end. Like so. Like so. There we go. Okay. And we're going to do the same with the LED. And this is going to be a little bit tougher. There we go. Got a little bit on there. And see, if you just have it on the soldering iron, it won't transfer. You have to have either go immediately or you have to bring the solder in. So it's touching. The solder has flux in it, and the flux is what actually makes it wet to the to the steel wire. Once you have the solder on, though, I don't know if you can hear me down here. I'm trying a new way of standing at the workbench. I'm also gonna Okay, so that would definitely work. The downside is I have to get in at a funny angle to solder it. So we're going to bring in the vise. This is a Panavice Junior. I love them. More people probably have helping hands, so you're welcome to use that. Basically, whatever you've got to help you hold this together is going to be the way to go. Let's clean that soldering tip again. I'm going to add a little bit more solder to these leads, like so. Once you have the solder on both sides, the solder will adhere to itself really easily, so you just heat up. And the trick is not to move it once you get that solder melted, like so. Clearly I'm having some troubles with that today. Usually a little bit better than this, but not necessarily great. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's fine. So, okay, there we go. Got the solder, and I'm going to put the arms on now. You see, this one is really easy, but I want some pretty good blobs of solder up here for the arms. And the arm should be fairly close to the head, because your neck is not very long. So, one arm. And the second arm. And just hold it without letting it move until it's secured. I think those are actually a little bit too long, so I'm going to desolder them real quick. And this is kind of just figuring out exactly how you want it all to look. So I'm going to go for a little bit shorter arms. So I'm just going to cut this down. So once I've done one, I'm going to pick up the other one because I want them both to be the same length, so I'm going to match them up. You can do it however you want. I just think both the same length is the way to go. Okay, so put these back on. And you don't want it to come, that's maybe too short. You don't want it to come across because you don't want to bridge. Also, with the shorter lead, you're more at risk of burning yourself. So be careful. Cool, there we go. Okay, so splay the legs just a little bit, and then tin some solder onto those. This is what we're going to attach the battery holder. That's what I'm trying to say. On with. So it's a little bit too much. So grab the battery holder and do the same thing. Just get a little bit on there. And so I can see that this one is slightly longer, so that's going to be positive. But just in case, I'm going to put that in. There we go. Then I'm going to come down here, and the positive wraps down around. So the positive contact will be this one that's in the side. And I'm going to put that over on this side. A little bit too much solder on there, but it's fine. I did some of these where I was trying to be really, really perfect, and it just found it didn't make that much of a difference. But if it is something that is bothering you, that it is not perfect, then you can spend as much or as little time as you want making it as perfect as you want. And there we go. LED is glowing softly. I am using 330, so 3. So the orange there is 3, 3, 3. Brown is a 1. Excuse me, the cough syrup hasn't quite kicked in yet. So the brown means 1, 0, so 330 ohm. together that is 660, and these will glow on these batteries for a week or so, which is not too bad. So I'm going to set that one down.